There was one time when I was in court and there was a case of mistaken identity. He said to her, "Are you able to point out the accused?" And she said, "That's him," and pointed at me. Of course, I went, I'm Nathan Marks, and in 2025, I would have been on the roll for 70 years. I have in front of me my certificate from the Law Society confirming I passed my final examination, and that was August 1956. Originally, I was going to do medicine, because in those days, your mother told you what you were going to be, and she always said, "My son, the brain surgeon." If I would have done medicine, I would never have met my wife. She was a Mancunian, and I would have been in London, and I would never have met her. I would have missed out on the best part of my life. Well, I have in front of me a game called Guess Who, which says, uncover the mystery character. There was one time when I was in court and there was a case of mistaken identity. After I qualified, the first firm I joined was a small firm, which did pretty well everything. And one of the ones we got was a murder trial. Now, the accused was a little shabby old man in the box between two very large policemen. And so the main witness was the landlady of the pub. The prosecutor put it in the box and said to her, "Now, Mrs. X, are you able to point out the accused?" And she said, "That's him," and pointed at me. Well, the court was in hysterics. I'm dead. Two large policemen rushed towards me,
How did you feel when you were pointed out in court?
Of course, I went, For a Manchester lawyer, I've been very, very lucky in the clients I've had, the things I've done, and the places to which I've been. I was fortunate in that clients wanted me to travel with them when they were going abroad for a negotiation or whatever it was. I even got to go on a test flight on Concorde. I just think that I've been very lucky, and I've worked very hard, but I've really enjoyed everything I've done, and I still do. The motor car in front of me represents one of the interesting and important parts of my career. The firm I first went to after I qualified, we stopped doing any sort of criminal work. But I continue to do motoring cases. I wouldn't do not guilty cases, but cases where motorists were liable to lose their license for 12 points. And quite apart from it being very satisfying, because you save people from being disqualified, and it was a very good way of getting new clients. A lot of people will say there are two Manchesters, and this is what they mean. Manchester City, Manchester United. You will notice I mentioned Manchester City first. That's because I am a Manchester City supporter. But I had the very unique experience of becoming Manchester United solicitors for probably 7 or 8 years. I suppose I shouldn't admit it, but I used to sit in the box on match days and cheer the other side. Not very long later, I became the Manchester City solicitor, which was very interesting because City was a team which needed a lot of rebuilding, and it did get back to its glory days. What I'm proud of, not one particular thing, but I think that I was a lawyer who did help people. I got to do a lot of very interesting things, meet a lot of interesting people. I still meet people who say, "Nathan, I do remember when you did this for, when you helped me that. And I really feel that, what I did was worthwhile. It is nice to know you did help, and it was a worthwhile career.